The MacVoices 2025 Holiday Gift Guide, number 6, part 2. This is MacVoices. MacVoices is supported by MacPaw, the makers of CleanMyMac, your ultimate solution for Mac control and care. Try CleanMyMac for 7 days free, then use the code MacVoices20 for 20% off at cleanmy.com/MacVoices. That's CLNMY.com/MacVoices. Well, that puts us halfway through. So we are into the third round for this gift guide. So Kirshen, that puts you in the hot seat.
All right, sort of a semi-bike outdoor activity related pick. This is a product called Road ID. You can have it on a wrist bracelet like this. It's a little tiny placard that gets engraved with your information. And what happens is if you're in an, God forbid, an accident, the emergency responders can get all the necessary information of this. They have this Road ID at roadid.com. They have a optional service called ID Protect. $20 a year. You enter your medical information. It's all secure. And there's a couple of codes at the back here that the first responder gets, enters it on their website or calls a number which is engraved on the ID itself. And they can get all your medical information on it from that phone call or going to that website. It's also engravable, lets you engrave 3-4 lines of your own information that you want. I put my birth year and my blood group, obvious, just in case. And it has my partner's phone number, and yeah, really great. So I've been using this for years. Every time I race, every time I rode my bike outdoors, I'd have this bracelet on my wrist. And then I got the Apple Watch, and I go, oh no, what do I do? Recently, probably in the last 2 or 3 years, they came up with this Road ID, which fits on your watch strap. So if you can't see, there's a little slip-on insert that same thing, engraves the information, first responder codes at the back. So you just have it on your watch, and should the first responders need more information about you, it's all there. The ID Protect service supports multiple of these IDs, so you can have different IDs. I have 4. Goodness knows why. Actually, I have one for the regular strap, and since I got an Ultra, I've got a larger of these band IDs that mount on my Ultra strap for when I go scuba diving. So I'm going to take that up again with the Ultra. So this is the Road ID, and been using it for years, and was really happy when he came up with the Apple Watch band insert. So really nice.
That is really nice, Kirshen. I'm thinking not just for people like you or Bart that are out there on their bikes all the time, but just anybody that might have any kind of significant medical problem could benefit from this. And I love the fact that it could be on your Apple Watch, which makes it very, very unobtrusive.
Just sits on the side of your band.
Money again.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice pick. Nice pick. Okay, Mike, you're up.
All right, so I have to start this with a quick little story. Last November, my family and I, we drove down to Disney World from where we live in Maryland. So that's about 900 miles, 1,000 miles, something like that. And about halfway through that trip, we're driving down 95, which is this big interstate, going 80 miles an hour. It's it's a racetrack, right? But you're still doing it for 15 hours. And then all of a sudden, there's this big crunching noise from underneath the car. Pull over to the side. I get underneath the car and look, and I see like this big piece of the car has like curled up like a potato chip, like dangling down from the bottom of the car. And I'm not a car guy, but I'm like, that's not how it's supposed to be. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's supposed to do, but it's not supposed to do that. So I go to my bag and I pull out gaff tape. I'm not sure if you're familiar with gaff tape. Gaff tape is like the professional version of duct tape. It's awesome. It's fabric instead of like the plastic or whatever the duct tape is. And it's used like in video production stuff, like movies and things. It leaves no residue on anything, but it's super strong. So I was able to tape this piece, this big metal sheet that's hanging off the bottom of the car. I was able to tape it back into place, and we were able to get to a mechanic shop that happened to be open at like 6 p.m. on a Saturday. So this is part of my suggested gift, which I actually, after that happened, I gave this as gifts to everybody I knew last year. I gave them a little bundle. I called it like the holding everything together gift, right? It was this gaff tape, and then these things called bongo ties, which are another thing I love. They're like $10. This, by the way, is like $20 for a roll. So it is much more expensive than regular duct tape. So you don't use it to like hang stuff on the fridge, but it is awesome to always have around. So bongo ties are like heavy duty, high quality rubber bands with this little piece of wood that's looks like a bongo drum. And then you can strap a couple of them together if you need to, but then you can use them reusably. Like it uses the bongo tie as like the anchor, right? So I use these for cable management stuff and all kinds of things. And then the third piece of this little holding it together bundle is this stuff called paracord. I'm not sure if you're familiar with paracord. It's like a shoestring, but it's really strong nylon. It's used for parachutes. That's the paracord part. And so this really thin, like shoelace type stuff, this one holds like 550 pounds. Like it's crazy amount of like tensile strength on it or whatever. So I gave like this little bundle of these three things together out as gifts last year. It was like $40 to piece this together, but I gave like a kit to a bunch of people in my life. And I was like, here, this is going to help you hold things together for, 2025 or whatever. Right. And so you can come up with a better name, or I don't know if we're allowed to cuss on this, but you can come up with a different type of thing you're holding together if you wanted to, and give this as a gift like that. But this little bundle, I found everybody loved it. And people text me like 6 months later, like, oh my God, I don't know how I lived without bongo ties, or gaff tape is legit. Or I always get these types of comments months afterwards. So, it's not a book that got put on a shelf that nobody ever touched again. That people are using the stuff who I gave it to. So I like it a lot. I would suggest this little bundle as a nice gift everybody should have for themselves, but it might be a nice thing to hand out to other people too.
The idea of the little bundle is brilliant, because like, I know from a slightly different experience how amazingly well received it is, because everyone knows that I really should get ... But for someone to just hand you the bundle ready to go. So the equivalent for me is that my parents were always out on their e-bikes and they never had anything with them in case something went wrong. Never. So I bought for each of their e-bikes a little saddle bag with a puncture repair kit, a tiny little portable pump, and one of those little foldable multi-tools to cover all of the different bits of the bike. And I went, you are never going to buy this, one for you and one for you. And right. I don't think anything has ever been as well received. And then you get halfway through the summer, you get a message going, hey, thanks, look, this fell off and we screwed it on with this. Thank you.
Yeah. Wonderful.
That's a great way to approach it, Mike. I really like it. I think I used to have bongo ties. I have no idea why I ever stopped using them, but thank you for the reminder, because they sort of, I think, got overtaken by Velcro. But the Velcro bongo ties are still there are advantages to using those. So nice.
And I like the idea of giving out bongo ties, because most people don't know bongo ties. A lot of people and Velcro's good too. It's got its pros and cons to all of it. But I liked sharing this new thing, because everybody I handed to it, nobody had ever seen one of these things before. The people I gave them to gifts for, so just sharing a little bit of something new. But
cool. Thank you.
Oh wow,
Thank you.
Something new, new for the on the road toolkit there. Thanks, Mike. The other thing I have to attach things together. You've seen zip ties, but has anybody ever seen zip ties that unzip? Releasable zip ties, real handy to keep around in the house, in the garage. Yeah. They have a little lever on the bottom. You zip it through, it holds tight like a zip tie, but when you pull down the lever, you can actually unzip the whole thing. So releasable zip ties. That's
handy.
something we keep in stock.
I didn't know they made reusable ones.
They do.
Very
they
cool.
do.
They're like
that to the
magic, because everyone sees you zip tying it, and then they see you unzip tying it, and they think you're a magician. It's brilliant,
right?
Okay, yeah, I did not know they made reusable or unzippable. So yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Got to go check that out. All right, Bart, number 3.
right, Chuck? This one might end up costing you a lot of money. Basically, one of the things I've been terrible at for years is getting a good bike rack. The other thing is good luggage, because most of my luggage I still had since I was a student when I didn't have any money, and eventually it's now all dead. All of my rubbish luggage is now dead. It has finally died, and I'm hoping to do a little bit of traveling in 2026. So I have spent, for the first time ever, a substantial amount of money on a well-designed piece of luggage from a company who are industrial design geniuses called Peak Design. They released their Roller Pro travel suitcase. And if I could do props, I physically have one here in the corner, but I'm not going to do it because it's too big to do as a prop. But this thing has every little detail you could possibly imagine for practically storing everything away and using their packing cubes, and it's all their modular system. And the wheels are made of some sort of anti-gravitational magic, because I could push it with one little finger and it will roll the whole way across this bedroom. It has like no resistance. It spins 360 degrees. I think if I set it spinning now, it would still be spinning when we finish the podcast. Like, it's magic wheels. The handle is made of graphite and very, very, very thin. So it's light as anything, but completely rigid because it's in one piece. And on that flip-flop, flip-flop, flip-flop. And when you open the case up, there's not those two big bars where they're depriving you of useful space because it's a thick handle. It's so flat and thin. It's such a beautiful... And the thing has a fake leather cover, which is kind of pretty. But, I got mine in the green color because it's nice. But really, you hear about it and you say, that sounds cool. And then you physically hold it and move it around as if you were, going through an airport or something. And it's just like, oh, wow, this thing is just made of magic. It's such a beautiful piece of technology. Unfortunately, it's €600.
You pay for what you get.
Yeah.
I am a diehard fanboy. Peak Design, yeah. I'm a huge fan.
You too?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I Sarah and I probably about 5-6 years ago traded out our rollerboards. We bought Peak Design backpacks. You can unzip them, make them bigger, make them smaller, and they fit in the overhead compartment. So, you got that one. Cool. Yeah. So when we're on the transatlantic flight, ready to get off, the bags are off. They're on our backs, and we're ready for the 500-meter run to the customs immigration. Yeah. So I joke with Sarah that all this CrossFit training we do is just to get us out of the plane and first in queue at the customs and immigration. But Peak Design now, they're rock solid. I even have their first product they released on Kickstarter, which is a special plate that mounts at the bottom of your camera and clamps that fit on your straps. Yeah, that one. The very first product they put out on Kickstarter. I have 2 of them.
Yeah, I have their tripod as well, which is also an amazing magic tripod. Like it does all sorts of cool tricks.
Yeah, they're really good in their product design and very, very thoughtful in all the things they put in. Definitely +1 for them.
I'm just looking at these things, and this looks very, very expensive, but very nice.
David Sparks bought one.
Yeah, well, and unfortunately,
Has to be
especially with
good.
luggage, I hesitate to spend a lot of money on luggage, but I have learned that if you spend more money, it lasts a lot longer. And it looks like this was something that would last a long time. Okay.
And they have a lifetime
If any
warranty
other
on all their
products are anything to
products.
go by, it'll live forever.
Yeah. You say lifetime warranty, Mike? Wow.
Yep, and they're another 1% for the planet
It's
type
true.
company.
Oh,
So I didn't bother registering my tripod, which I bought on Kickstarter in 2019, I think, or 2017. I found my original receipt email really, really, really long time ago. And when I was registering my lifetime warranty on the travel, on the Roller Pro, which is well worth a lifetime warranty at €600, I was like, what the hey? I'll stick in the serial number for the tripod and see will they honor it. Yes, they did. I put in the serial number, it showed a picture, and went, is this your product? And I went, yep. So now it has its lifetime warranty registered on their portal as well.
wow. Okay. That's the kind of company you want to do business with.
Yeah, they stand by their product. Indeed.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's impressive. All right. Well, I'm going to pick one that's going to turn into sort of a theme. And I'm going to do it from another really great company, and that's OWC. The way that I do my video work is I've got a MacBook Pro, the big one with the M4 chip, but I've never liked the idea of just a constant read write to that internal hard drive, because we all know that internal hard drives eventually, or SSD, excuse me, I'm sorry, there is a life. You're probably not going to get to it, but. So I tend to do all the editing part using an external drive. And the external drive I was using for a while was fine, and I'm not going to name it because I don't want to have anybody think that I'm saying that it's bad. It's not. But there were times that there were glitches and hiccups and all as I was editing the video, and it became really annoying. So I invested in the OWC 2 terabyte version, the Express 1M2. This is a 400 gigabyte portable NVMe SSD with heat fins, and it is just like blindingly fast. I mean, it's amazing. I can scroll a Final Cut timeline, and there's no hiccuping or jumping or anything like that. It is so nicely done. It was just on sale for Black Friday. It may actually, as we record this, it may still be on sale, but I would buy it again in a second. I would recommend it. You can get it in a bare drive model, so you can install your own SSD. I went with what OWC installs in the 2 terabyte. I think there's also a 4 terabyte, and even if you really want to get a little expensive, there's an 8 terabyte model. But OWC, sort of to what you were talking about with Peak, they stand by their equipment. Their support is great. Every once in a while, I just have one of those annoying little questions like, should I do this? Can I do that? And you pop on their chat, and they're just super helpful. So, I would tell you that if you're looking for a portable drive that you need performance out of, that's not just for raw storage, the OWC Express is the one you want to go with.
Yeah, I can echo that, Chuck. I have one of the other drives as well right here. It's teeny tiny. And I use that for full drive backups using Carbon Copy Cloner. So 3 minutes and it's all done.
Yep.
Yeah. Back in the days when we could fit our own RAM into things is when I fell in love with OWC, because when you come from the PC world to your first Mac, you're used to this having to figure out spending 20 hours figuring out, will this RAM fit in this PC I built myself? And it's a mess. And I went to the OWC website and it went, what kind of Mac do you have? I went, that one. And it went, you can have this RAM, or this RAM. I can't have that RAM, please. And lo and behold, it bloody well worked. And it came all the way from America, all the way to Ireland, absolutely problem-free. And in all of the years I have dealt with that company since, they are nothing but user-friendly and helpful.
Yeah.
And they're right next door to MacStop.
Well, yeah, there's that too, Kirsten. Yeah. Yeah. But I own a ridiculous number of products from OWC. Yeah. So
I think it's OWC sold me my little toolkit for all of the nerdy stuff with all of those weird shaped screwdrivers. I'm almost certain that's from OWC as well. And that thing I've just had it so many years I can't even remember what it's called, but it doesn't break because it's OWC. It just keeps working.
Yeah. That's an interesting point, Bart. I can think of a lot of things that have broken along the way, but none of them from OWC. They might get supplanted by something newer, but it's not like there are probably a couple things in the basement that would still be just fine if I wanted to go, back to some earlier interfaces and all. So,
yeah.
All right.
Several years ago, they sent me a Christmas ornament made out of a stick of RAM with a hanger. I have it somewhere.
Yeah, that's a just get a hanger. You can get. No, I would get killed if I put a piece of RAM on a Christmas tree. No, that's not a good idea. So,
I have some old sticks around. I think I'm going to sneak them into the tree and see if anyone notices.
Yeah. Let me know how that goes, Bart, because I know it would be noticed and I know what would happen next. So, MacVoices is supported by CleanMyMac by MacPaw. You know that feeling when the holidays finally arrive? Lights go up, the house smells amazing, everything feels just a little more magical? Well, your Mac deserves some holiday magic too. And that's exactly what CleanMyMac from MacPaw brings to the season. CleanMyMac is like the friendly holiday elf your Mac didn't know it needed. Slipping in behind the scenes, sweeping away clutter, clearing out forgotten files, and tuning up performance, all with a single click. It's that moment when suddenly everything feels lighter, faster, and ready for the new year. That's CleanMyMac working its magic. But it's not just sparkle and shine. CleanMyMac also keeps an eye on your Mac's health, scanning for potential threats, monitoring system performance, and flagging issues before they become real problems. While you're baking cookies, wrapping gifts, or trying to untangle a string of lights for the third time, CleanMyMac is quietly protecting your Mac from the not-so-festive surprises that can slow you down. And the best part? You don't need any technical expertise or any holiday wizardry. CleanMyMac handles the heavy lifting so you can stay focused on celebrating. Give your Mac a little holiday magic of its own. Try CleanMyMac free for 7 days, and when you're ready to make it part of your year-round routine, use the code MacVoices20 in all caps for 20% off at cleanmy.com/MacVoices. That's CLNMY.com/MacVoices, and the code MacVoices20, both in all caps, for 20% off. CleanMyMac, because even your Mac deserves a touch of holiday magic. Thanks to CleanMyMac for supporting MacVoices. All right, well, that's 3 rounds. This means that if you have more than one thing left, you get to pick your last best thing. So, Kirshen, get us started for round 4.
All right,
for
here we go.
For round 4.
Round 4. On a travel theme, given all the stuff the panel's been talking about travel, I'd like to recommend the AirFly SE from 12 South. It solves this one nasty problem everybody has, and that is you've got these funky, cool AirPods that use Bluetooth, and when you get on board an aircraft, they've got this little hole, and you have to plug this headphones in, and it's a bit of a pain. So that's what the AirFly SE does. It bridges the audio jack to Bluetooth, so you can pair your AirPods to it, and you don't have these nasty cables that you have to pull out when your partner decides it's potty time. So yeah, I love mine. Sarah and I both have an AirFly each, and when we travel, it's the thing we use to connect our AirPods to the audio system on the aircraft. Now, airlines are rolling out Bluetooth connectivity, but it's really, really slow. Sarah just told me she managed to get Bluetooth, but that was only because she upgraded to business.
Any way they can try.
That's another one of those companies that only make good products. I don't own the AirFly, but I have a lot of things with that 12 South logo. And again, Chuck, I have things with the 12 South logo that I can't use anymore because I have moved on to a different product. Not because they ever stopped working or they ever broken anyway. They're just such a great company.
12 South AirPods holder for the original AirPods.
Oh,
okay, nice. Yeah, I will second that, Bart. I have some 12 South stuff as well, and to Sarah's point, I think an earlier version of the AirFly that I've used plenty of times, and you're right, it just works. It solves the problem. So nice wrap up pick. Okay, Mike, for the last pick of your first gift guide, what are you going to give us?
So Bart was reading my mind, bringing a Peak Design product. So I didn't bring exactly the same. Bart has a much bigger budget than I do when it comes to Peak Design stuff. I can't afford the roller bag or the travel tripod, but this is the tech pouch, and this is actually where I pulled my gaff tape out from before off camera from this. This is where it stays normally. So the tech pouch has this, like, they call it origami inspired design. So these are like elastic. So these fit really nice. You can slide stuff in and it kind of holds it a little bit. So I have like cables, I have some bongo ties in there, some Ziploc bags, whatever, battery packs, cable. So this tech pouch is waterproof. I have two of them. I have one that's in my carry-on bag that has just all of our cables for traveling, for son's iPad, my phone, watch, all that stuff just stays in one of these. And I have this one that goes in the bottom of my Peak Design backpack. So it fits perfectly onto like the bottom shelf of my backpack. And so this is always in there. It just has everything I need. And again, Peak Design, lifetime warranty, 1% for the planet company, and just all around great stuff, just impeccably designed and well thought out stuff. Like they even have on the bottom of this, there's these two little straps on each side so that you can hold it with one hand and open it up. Like just that, thinking to put like a little slap, like to put your fingers through there, just so you're not juggling stuff, like little things like that. Very Apple-like, in my opinion, with a lot of their stuff. Very good. And so that's the regular size. They've since released a smaller version, but the regular size works for me, and that's $60. And again, can't recommend it enough.
Agreed. Got one.
And I
Love
think
it.
that one is size S for their modular packing cubes, right? So I think that one counts as an S. So whatever bag you buy from them, they will tell you what size of packing cubes fit. So you can basically pick and choose what will go in. So I bought a whole bunch of different size packing cubes. I decided not to go with the tech bag because I needed something else more, and I only have so many cubes.
Yeah.
But I came very close to trying to find an excuse to throw that in as well.
Wow,
it's great. Like I said, I have two of them because they're so just the perfect size for how I like to store and pack things. So I love it. Highly recommend.
How did I not know that I've heard of Peak, and I know they made the tripod, and I knew about one of the backpacks, but I had no idea they had all this other stuff that really is really nice looking stuff.
I use their phone case, their wireless charger. I might actually have more Peak Design stuff. I definitely have more Peak Design stuff than I have Apple stuff in my house. Never mind. If you count AirPods and stuff, it's close. It's neck and neck.
It's not a competition, Mike. Wow. Okay. Nice pick. And I think it just cost me money. And if you didn't cost me money any other way, it's that being able to hold it on the bottom and open it up. That is genius. That is genius. Okay. Thank you. All right, Bart, round 4.
Right. I'm going to finish up literally with a toy. It's a big boy's toy, and it completely harkens back to my childhood because as far as I'm concerned, there is no better game for young creative people who are into building stuff than Lego. Lego is the first thing I remember playing with. It was a Lego set that my uncle had used when he was a kid, and it was like from the 1960s. And I loved it to pieces, literally. And for my whole childhood, Lego was my thing. And to stop trodding on Lego bricks, my dad actually converted the attic so that the kids could have our Lego upstairs, which meant that we literally built a Lego city upstairs. It was, I love Lego. And something I've
That's
always been
awesome.
cranky about is that we have Lego Star Wars and Lego Harry Potter, but no Lego Star Trek. And I'm a Star Trek person. In fact, I'm a Star Trek Next Generation person. And just in time to take all of my money for Christmas, they released the Lego Enterprise D. And thanks to the magic of time zones, I was pretty sure I'd have a chance of getting one before they sold out. And I did. I got mine in on the pre-order. So not only do I have my Lego Enterprise on its way to me as we speak, I also got in early enough to get the free Lego shuttlecraft to go with it. So that is a joint Christmas present for myself and the better half, because we are both complete and utter nerds. And what he doesn't know, and he's not going to watch this, so I can say it quietly, is that I also bought an LED lighting kit as an extra bonus surprise. So when we have it built, we can light it up and then put it in our sitting room in pride of place. So now it's, it's Lego, so it's not cheap. It's 380 euro, but it's amazing. It's such a beautiful piece of Lego.
I have heard so many people lusting after that Enterprise Lego model. And so you're the first person I've known that actually got one. So
wow. I set an alarm, and I literally, before I got dressed, before I did anything on the 30th of November, I ordered our Enterprise D. And I'm really glad I did, because by the time I walked into work, my social media was full of disappointed people. It's like, yeah, not me. I got one.
Yeah. And you weren't gloating at all. I love that part.
Yeah. It's just been a while since I've made it my business to be first in line for something and to not miss it on the first day. And I succeeded, which made me very pleased.
Now, have you started it at all? Have you started putting it together? Started putting it together yet or not?
Okay, so it is on its way to me. It hasn't arrived yet.
Okay.
That is going to be a very interesting discussion, Chuck, because I sold it as something for us to do as a couple on Christmas Day. The question is, will either of us have the restraint not to open it until Christmas Day? That is going to be an interesting test.
Oh, Bart, I do have to ask you one thing, though, because, I remember as a kid having Legos. And I'm really intrigued by the fact that when I was given Legos, there was no set. There were no instructions. It was just a bunch of blocks. And so you were free to let your imagination run wild. And so, I'm in this constant discussion with Lego enthusiasts of which is the better way, to have that finished product that you're working toward and you have the instructions and have to do it, or whether you just, let your imagination go and start slapping together and see what comes out.
I think that's a yes and.
Yeah.
That's kind of the joy of
Works
Lego.
always.
You can do whatever you want, and then if you decide, actually, I prefer it the other way, you just get the instruction book out and put it back to the way it came out of the box. And I don't know if they still do this, but in my childhood, the boxes used to come with alternate instructions, where there will be a different thing you could make with the same pieces. Basically an alternative take. So it might be a helicopter that becomes a different type of helicopter or whatever. And so you actually would have the choice of which of these do I build. And so we'd regularly just tear everything down. We'd have this literally a giant big crate of Lego, and you'd pour it out, and it makes an amazing noise when you pour out a crate of Lego. And just that'll be us for days. Like during those long summer holidays, as somewhere between 8 and 16, that sort of area, we would just disappear into the attic for days. They wouldn't see us. We just have our breakfasts up to the attic, and then we just build. We ended up making papier-mâché hills and things to put around our Lego city, and it was just completely carried away, and it was wonderful.
That's nice. That's really nice. Thank you, Bart.
I should dig up. There's a photo on my Twitter somewhere or on my Flickr somewhere of the three of us as young kids in our Lego city. I must dig that up and give it to you for the show notes. It'll make you laugh what I look like without beard and with hair.
Yeah.
I have to dig that up.
Yeah. Well, and we definitely want a picture or want an update from you as to when did you resist it and hold off till Christmas, and how
Well, my
long did it
social
take you to-
media will. The moment that thing is built, it is on social media. So if you're following me on Mastodon or Blue Sky or whatever, you'll know when I've built my Lego Enterprise. Trust me.
All right. Great.
The most important Lego product I found, I did find it when I was a kid building back in the 60s, but it was only recently, only when I was an adult and started building Lego as an adult, was the little special device for breaking the bricks apart. For separating bricks. It's a special lever-shaped thing. You snap it on and you go clunk and they come off. You won't believe how many times I've tried as a kid, and they won't come apart. But this little doohickey, Lego makes it. You snap it on a brick and you go clunk, breaks the bricks apart. Came in one of my kids.
That.
And
I found. Oh my God. Jesus, I wonder what year that was. I found the link. I'm going to stick it into the chat here on our screen share on our thingy, so you guys can laugh. And it is, if you scroll down, it's part of a set of 11 photos where you can look around and admire our beautiful city. But yeah, there's the three of us. So I'm on the right, and yeah, list of the three of us. That's a long time ago.
Oh, I love that train. I had a train
great.
set, Lego train set with the electric motor and everything. Way back. Yeah. The only surviving piece I have, I'm going to unplug now. Let me show it to you.
When you said attic, Bart, you really meant attic.
Yeah. Like literally floorboards in the attic. So it would disappear up this ladder. You'd pull down. You'd have this stick that you'd put up, and then you'd pull down the stairs.
I'm a techniques junkie.
Oh, lovely!
And that's the only surviving piece of Lego I have left after everything. I have a Formula One car, but yeah, it has a little crank here. Little crank, and rotates the prop as well.
We're reliving our childhoods here.
Yeah,
Bart, the solution in our house to not stepping on Lego bricks and not losing them in the carpet and all was to put a sheet down and dump the whole big pile out. And then when you were finished playing, you could gather it all up in the sheet and then put it in like a trash can. And so that, they couldn't escape. So
there you go.
That saved a lot of feet. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to wrap up with another hard drive pick. But this is a very specific hard drive pick. The new iPhones now for a while have had USB-C. And one of the great things about it is you can use that to attach storage to it. Better, though, if you're into video, because video, as you start getting into 1080p and it gets rather sizable. You get into 4K and it gets really sizable really quick. And buying that memory for the iPhone when you first purchase it is darn expensive. Now, the iOSs will let you designate where you're recording video to. And so I bought I'm going to make sure I get this right, a Lexar 1 terabyte ES5 magnetic external hard SSD. This is a MagSafe drive. So, and it comes with its own little short USB-C cable, which also can be used as a little lanyard kind of thing on the drive for when you're not using it. But you take that out, you connect it, you stick it on the back of your phone via MagSafe, and you've got yourself a little more mobile production studio with now a whole lot more room than you really wanted to pay for when you bought the phone. This is going to go in my rig for CES this year to do a little testing, but I've tested it so far and it works wonderfully. It doesn't seem to add any heat. It doesn't add a lot of battery drain because it's an SSD. So it just gives me a whole lot more space to work with before having to try to dump video out to make space for the next day's video. So, it was very affordable. Like, this was one of those Black Friday picks. That's like, I think I'm going to pick that up and just try it because it was under $100. In fact, well under $100 at Black Friday. So, yeah, I will report back, but I feel like I'm going to really love this thing.
It's great, actually, that the Files app has turned the iPhone into, for people who want to, and only for people who want to, it's given the iPhone some serious superpowers, just the addition of that simple Files app.
The Files app and the USB-C. Yeah, because that makes getting things on and off so much faster and so much easier. So, yeah, I agree with you, Bart.
Thank you, EU.
Yeah. Well, let's not go too far there. Some things they did good, some things not so much. But that's a whole other show.
I know.
That's my show, Chuck. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll compare notes, Bart. Guys, thank you. This has been a lot of fun. I feel like I relived a little bit of my childhood along the way with some with great picks and also spending some money. So thank you. I think. When you're not here, I want to let folks know where they can find you so they can follow all of your adventures. So, Kirshen, what's the best way for people to connect with you?
I actually have a blog that's occasionally updated at freerangecoder.com. I'll probably spend more time on it now that I'm purportedly retired. Yeah, I want to add a quick tip as well. I noticed that on the picks for the gift guide, there were a lot of people recommending jump starters. They're really great. We bought one, but here's a quick tip. If you're ever going to replace the 12-volt battery in your car, our cars are all computerized and they've got all this flash memory that stores all your car settings, like your seat position and everything. Get your jump starter, plug it over the terminals of the battery before you remove your battery and turn it on. So that way you can still power your car while you're changing out the 12-volt car battery. So that's a quick tip I wanted to add on because of the massive number of jump start picks that everybody's had. So it's a great idea to prevent you losing all your radio stations and car settings with your jump starter.
That is a great tip. I wouldn't have thought of that, but it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Nicely
yeah,
done.
Indeed.
Nicely done.
Yep. So you can
Kirshen,
find me at freerangecoder.com.
Great. Thanks so much. Give our best to Sarah and happy holidays to you both.
Will do. Thank you.
Mike, thank you for being here for your very first gift guide. I hope it won't be your last. Where can folks find you?
Yeah, thanks for having me. And hopefully next time my internet will be a little bit more stable and I won't be so 8-bit Mario looking. But yeah, so I have a website, themikeburke.com. You can find pretty much everything there. If you're into YouTube, I have a YouTube channel. The channel is Mike Burke Tech. But again, you can get to that through the YouTube or through my website. I talk about a lot of Apple stuff, productivity stuff. Automation is my area of biggest interest, but all that kind of stuff you can find there. But thanks for having me, and I look forward to coming back.
Please do. Please do. It's great to have you. Happy holidays.
To you as well.
Bart, last but not least, as usual, thank you so much for being here and making my holiday because we keep the tradition going. Where can folks connect with you?
Yeah. You'll find my two podcasts at lets-talk.ie. I have a monthly show where I talk about the big picture of Apple news. So you have lots of daily shows and stuff, but what I like to do is look at the whole month's worth of Apple news, pick out what's actually important and put it into a broader context. It takes a lot of work, but I only have to do it 12 times a year. So, on the whole, it works out pretty well. And it's something you don't tend to find in other places. And then I also do a photography show where my rule is basically, this is not a tech show. the point is it's a show about the art and craft of photography. It could be anything about the art and craft of photography, but it's from the point of view of crafting something, not of getting into the techie spec details, because there's plenty of podcasts on the internet full of techie spec details on photography. So I wanted to do something different. They're both monthly shows because I don't have that much time. But anyway, they're at let's-talk.ie.
Excellent. Thank you, Bart. I really appreciate it. Happy holidays and enjoy the Star Trek Christmas. Folks, I'm Chuck Joyner. This is MacVoices. We'll be back with more MacVoices content, as well as hopefully one or two more gift guides if things work out the way I plan. Once again, you can find the links to the picks in the show notes of this episode on our master gift guide page on the MacVoices website, and also in our holiday gift guide Flipboard magazine for 2025. So go enjoy. Until the next time, and as always, thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices, or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you MacVoices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.